to work together between Israel and India. I'm intrigued by the potential. See, we're a small, less than 10 million people, very driven, very innovative, and you have huge scale, 150 times bigger than Israel. And I see that the speed of growth, the economic growth of India, creates new opportunities for both sides. It's classic complementary skills.
Right.
The fact that we have good government-to-government and good people-to-people relationship puts the businesses in an ecosystem that they can really succeed together. There's trust, there is a good vibe, and a lot of good business. So we have 10,000 startups. It's a startup for every 1,000 people.
Absolutely.
For every 1,000 people. It would be the equivalent of 1.5 million startups in India. But we don't, our skills are not scale. Now lately, India is also becoming not just a domestic market, but a hub for additional, for other countries. So these are opportunities that Israeli startups really want. And the opportunity is there, I see it. I was an entrepreneur myself, and I see the opportunity changing in front of my eyes, and I want to make sure that the two governments help the startups and the companies succeed together.
When you talk about technology, Minister Barkat, it is Israel that really leads, some of the world's biggest leads in some of the world's biggest technologies, and India has had, quite a remarkable trajectory when it comes to expanding its digital public infrastructure at scale and providing those features to the lowest common denominator, and of course making those services available to everyone, whether it's in the form of payments or other services. Would you be looking at collaborating, as far as digital public infrastructure services of India are concerned? Would you be looking at exporting those capabilities?
By the way, I'm amazed by the progress and the thinking of the Indian government, and it's working. You can see the progress India is making.
Yes.
I would hedge on doing business with India because in 10, 15, 20 years from now, you're going to be a big, huge monster on the business side. And the relationship Israel has, the open relationship we have with the United States, is something we would like to copy with India.
Oh.
We see that opportunity.
That's wonderful.
So because of the relationship, it's whatever makes sense for the business community. I mean, we promote the private sector.
Okay.
I believe, I'm a liberal guy, I believe in the private sector. And they don't work for me, I work for them. And I always ask them, what are the opportunities that you see in India? How can we help bridge that, bridge between you and enable you to do good business? And vice versa.
Minister Barkat, I also want to speak to you about the semiconductor ecosystem, because this is one area that most countries around the world are interested in it, and chip war is playing out, as we can call it. Of course, when the Prime Minister visited the United States, there were mega chip deals that were signed last year. In fact, this year also there was an understanding so far as semiconductor ecosystem is concerned. I want to ask you on the interest from one of the Israeli companies, which is Tower Semiconductors, into investing in India. Could you confirm the progress on that front?
Strategically, Israel is powerful in semiconductors. We have a number of semiconductors companies that bring us a lot of pride. And this is an area that Israel excels in, creates lots of jobs, lots of money, lots of export is chips from coming out of Israel. And again, the collaboration between Israel and India, we feel very, very safe to do so. It's just the matter of the terms that we need to, those companies have to come to terms with themselves. We would, of course, support this from the government side.
Minister Barkat, when we talk about the Adani Group of companies, there was this US indictment of the group on 5 charges. Now, those charges have been dismissed by the Adani Group in an exchange filing that came in last week. I want to understand from you, because the Adani Group has interest in the Haifa port and, of course, in several other areas that include manufacturing, military drones, commercial semiconductors as well. I want to understand from you, will that US indictment really impact the kind of investments that the Adani Group is making in Israel, and how do you really see that coming about?
It's not an Israeli issue, what's happening in the US. From our perspective, any foreign investor, including Adani, that wants to succeed in Israel, we'll do everything we can to help them to succeed. Because the success of a foreign investor in Israel will lead to additional investments in Israel. So we're very supportive of foreign investors, and that's what's happening there is not an Israeli issue.
So would you be open to having more investments from the Adani Group into Israel?
Certainly.
Okay. Let me also ask you, Minister Barkat, on the other big issue that's playing out right now. Perhaps some resolution is in sight so far as the Middle East situation is concerned. A ceasefire agreement has been arrived at. I want to understand from you what's the kind of change that it's brought about in terms of security situation in the region, and how do you view this deal, ceasefire deal that's been brokered by the US and France, in terms of whether it will lead to lasting peace in the region?
I think we have to look at a bit of the larger picture, the bigger geopolitical challenges in West Asia. It's about Iran. Iran is the biggest destabilizer in the region. They want to create a nuclear bomb in order to use it. They've said so, I believe them.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.